Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Clara. I'm 95 years old. Today we're going to make the meals from the Great Depression. Welcome back. Today we are going to make some fried mushrooms. Fried mushrooms are a delicacy. They're cheap if you go pick them by yourself, or even if you buy them. Mushrooms is a found food. It's delicious, it's nourishing, and it's cheap. These are big. They usually come in those smaller sizes, but these are big ones. Now I'm going to start cooking them, but before you cook them, you either have to clean them, wipe them, or wash them. And I'm going to wipe them. Kind of interesting looking. They look like umbrellas. These are big. They usually come in those smaller sizes, but these are big ones. Just wipe them off. If they're big enough, if they're small, you could just rinse them in water and drain the water out. Now we wiped them down. Now I'll have to cut them in little pieces and fry them. How white it is. If it's white, it's good. You have to be careful because sometimes they're poisonous. Don't eat mushrooms that you picked if you don't know what you're doing, because they could be poisonous. That's all I have to say about that. But that's more when you pick them yourself. When you buy them in the store, they should be safe. When we would pick them wild to test them if they were poisonous, we'd fry them and put a quarter in. If the quarter turned colors, they were no good. So that's how we could tell. If you're not sure, don't eat them, because they could be poisonous. I'm going back to Depression days. I never made these in a long time. I hope nobody has to go through that horrible. You couldn't buy what you wanted. You couldn't eat what you wanted. You couldn't dress the way you wanted, because you couldn't afford it. We were pretty lucky because we had a garden, and my mother used to preserve everything, so we didn't suffer from eating. Boy, they make quite a dish. 2 of them. The biggest one I ever saw was in Chicago. It was huge. It filled a great big pan. I can't tell you how big it was. I'd say about 2 feet across. Yeah, he had enough for all winter. We used to go pick them wild, and they from trees. Then my mother would come with all the mushrooms, and we'd cook them, and they were good. We lived on all that stuff during the Depression, and I think it was healthy, even if it was poor. I finished cutting the mushrooms. Now I'm going to cut the onion. This onion is pretty old. I think the onion is a little older than me. Now put the onions and the mushrooms together, and we're going to fry them. Oh, I used to roller skate all over. Instead of walking, I'd roller skate to work, I'd roller skate to church. I was on roller skates all the time. I was thin as a rail, a lot of exercise, but I guess it was good for me. Then another thing, when I'd go to the bakery, that was about, I'd say, 4 miles from home, and I'd skate early in the morning. It was still dark out, and I'd bring a little knife with me, because when I get out of work, that I'd go pick dandelion, bring it home to my mother, so we'd have dandelion dinner. So I'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So now I'm going to use the vegetable oil and fry these mushrooms. Just put a little in. If you need more, you can always add, but you can't take out. We're going to fry the mushrooms and the onions that I had chopped up. You stir it every so often. Oh, use your common sense. I don't measure nothing. We ate a lot of stuff from gardens and from like wild things like dandelions and burdock and all that stuff. I think that's why we're living so long. We ate good food. It was cheap and it was good. After about 5 minutes, lower the heat and let it simmer a little while. Doing okay. Well, you don't want it to be too oily. A little too much oil, so I took it out. After it softens, when you see that they're all softened, put a little tomato sauce in there. Well, it all depends how much mushrooms you have. Not too much sauce. In this case, just 2 tablespoons is plenty. Put a little salt. A little more tomato sauce. Put a little pepper. Stir it up. The mushrooms are kind of softened. It's enough. You don't have to cook them too much. There's too much oil, you can take it out at the end. Taste it. Delicious. The last thing I'm going to do is get bread. This is delicious. It reminds me of the olden days. Mushrooms are a good substitute for meat, and they're very tasty. I think that's about all I could say about mushrooms. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Clara. I'm 95 years old. Oggi facciamo mangiare italiano. We need paper toweling. We got no paper toweling. You have to go home. You haven't got a bicycle. You haven't got a car. Oh God, we're in a pinch.